What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. We're here for another episode of the Casual Fan Podcast, the hardest working, most accurate, most entertaining NHL sports gambling podcast on YouTube. My name is Pat Stuthers, your host and commentator. I am handing out bets, handing out money recently. I went 10-3 over the last couple of days. In this video, we're going to get into the results. We're going to talk about the most electric moments, the most devastating moments, what we learned, and then we're going to get it right into predictions for Wednesday and Thursday night across the NHL. If you're watching, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps. I know it's a pain in the ass to sign into your account, but just do it. It really helps me. Thank you. So let's take a look at the results from the past couple of days. On Monday, I went a nice 5-1, and on Tuesday, I went 5-2. Pretty good overall. That's 10-3 over the last 2 days, improving my overall record to 114-71. Boosts up my percentage if you round it up to about 62%. The official Columbus Blue Jackets upset that I gave you at plus 118 odds hit on Monday. And on Tuesday, I hit a 3-team and a 6-team parlay that paid out pretty well. Let's get into a toe-to-toe. All the things that happened that I said would happen that I got right. Number one, I told you the Blue Jackets would beat the Carolina Hurricanes in an upset victory. I told you that the Oilers would probably beat the Ottawa Senators in both games. I told you that the Ducks have been playing well, but that the Knights are just a better team. I said to stay away from the Blues and Coyotes game and the Flames and Jets game. But basically over the last 2 days, I told you everything except for 3 games. The Blackhawks beat the Stars and the Coyotes beat the Blues in 3 straight. Those are the 2 things I didn't expect. Let's talk about some of the most electric moments from Monday and Tuesday. Number one was the Senators and Oilers game. They had 2 fights right in the first 2 minutes of the game. Just back-to-back scraps, Cassian, Jujhar Khaira. It's great old school hockey and you love to see it even though that stuff's pretty much out of the game and it really had no effect on the outcome of the game. The next electric moment, the winner of the Laine and Dubois trade, Jack Roslovic. What a goal. Through the legs dangle, kicks it to himself. Reminds me of NHL 2003 on the PC when you can only do 2 moves and you drag it through your feet like that. Scores the goal, absolute beauty for the Blue Jackets. Love to see it for the guy. No one was talking about Jack Roslovic, and then they see a goal like that. Pretty impressive. Now on Tuesday night, I had a series of electric moments happen to me in the matter of a couple of minutes, which is the beauty of having a league that'll have 15 games start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So the Panthers were a lock, the Lightning were a lock, the Oilers and the Knights held on for dear life. But for me personally, my 16 parlay saw the Knights score in the last 4 minutes, the Flames score in the final 2 minutes, and the Sharks tie in the last minute and then go on to win it in the shootout. In real time, that was a very electric 10 minutes in the gambling corner. Let's talk about some of the devastating moments. It wasn't all sunshine and roses. The game I want to talk about is how the Blues blew it against the Coyotes. On Monday night, I had confidently hit 3 of 4 legs of a 4-team parlay and was just waiting on the Blues to finish the game. They were up a goal in the 3rd period against the Arizona Coyotes, and with 0.6 seconds left, they let Clayton Keller score on the power play to send it to overtime. Eventually it goes to shootout. Braden Shen for the Blues loses the puck in the shootout, doesn't even get a shot off, and then Christian Dvorak ends it for the Coyotes. And it was just devastating to watch them snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. They lost 3 straight, and I had 100 units out in my hands until 0.6 seconds left, and then I lost it. So that sucked. That was very devastating. I listened to Ryan O'Reilly's post-game press conference and he was clearly devastated and kind of emotional about the loss. And I truly felt like I was in the locker room with those guys. I couldn't believe it happened. So what did we learn from the past couple of days? Number one, Laine is on thin ice. Patrick Laine was benched for most of the game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Sources are starting to say that apparently he mouthed off to one of the assistant coaches. Laine's got to watch his P's and Q's with John Tortorella behind the bench. That is an old school mentality coach. And he will sit if he doesn't basically conform to Torts' idea of a hockey team. Another thing we learned, we're losing games fast. 3 games postponed yesterday. The Knights game is going to be postponed coming up. These players need to lock it down because quite frankly, I'm here staying at home watching hockey and gambling on it, being perfectly safe. And if anybody's out there spreading it in the NHL, you need to stop doing that because we all want to keep watching hockey. Another thing we learned, the Edmonton Oilers won their first game since November 28th, 2017, in which McDavid or Draisaitl did not record a point. Now that can tell you one of 2 things. It could tell you that these players are so amazing that it's impossible to keep them off the scoreboard in every single game since 2017, or it could tell you that the Oilers literally cannot win unless these guys light it up. This is not a sustainable recipe for success in the NHL. Get McDavid out of there. Get him on a winner already. Enough is enough. Now I know I rip on the Oilers a lot on this podcast. I tend to not hold back when I'm talking about them, and I really give it to them more than other teams. So anyways, let's get to our stay away games for the next couple of days. There's only 2 games tonight, and you better believe I'm playing both of them because I got to keep myself entertained. And I'm saying this to my future self as much as I'm saying it to all of you. I am going to stay away from the Penguins and the Islanders, the Blue Jackets and the Blackhawks, the Sens and the Jets. I want no part of the Canes and the Stars, and I'm not touching the Sharks or the Kings. The late games always get me because I want to either make all my money back or double down and make a little more. I have to show some discipline and not touch this Sharks and Kings game because I don't know what's going to happen. Then of course we have 4 games postponed due to COVID. That is the Washington Capitals and the Buffalo Sabres, the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers, the Blues and the Wild, and the Coyotes and the Avalanche. Would have been really nice to watch those matchups. Wouldn't have minded seeing a few extra games. Maybe would have made a lot of money on it. Who knows? Would have been nice. Okay, so with all that out of the way, predictions for the remaining games. The number one I'm going to talk about is the Boston Bruins at the New York Rangers. The under is 13-3 in the Bruins' last 16 against a losing team. The under is 9-3 in their last 12 Wednesday games. It's 12-5 in the Bruins' last 17 road games, and it's 6-1 in the Rangers' last 7. However, the over is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between these teams in New York. I still like the under. I definitely am leaning towards the Bruins as well. Toronto, Montreal, now there's some interesting stats here. The Leafs are actually 8-1-1 in their last 10, and they're on a 3-game win streak, but they're 1-4 in their last 5 meetings and 3-11 in their last 14 meetings in Montreal. The home team's also 5-1 in their last 6. I'm not sure if all the trends about home ice advantage makes a difference in a COVID year. That said, the favorite is 20-6 in the last 26 meetings, and also the over is 6-1 in the last 7. I think both of these teams have been playing well against the Canucks and the Oilers, but against each other, this is very much a measuring stick game. These teams are competing for the top of the North Division. They're probably the best 2 teams in the division. The Leafs have been hot, but if there's one thing I know about hockey, what goes up must come down, and I think the Canadiens will be a real test for this Maple Leafs team. I think the Canadiens also always step up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Also, Wayne Simmons and Travis Dermott are out. Something to consider. My lean in this one, honestly, is towards the Canadiens. Next game, Tampa and Florida. Tampa is 6-0 and they cover the spread. Panthers barely beat the Red Wings. Battle of Florida is going to Tampa. I'll probably take them minus 1.5. Oilers and Canadiens. I believe that the Montreal Canadiens' defensive core and team defense is up to the task of containing Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid while exposing the Oilers' sloppy play and slow foot speed outside of their 2 stars. Give me the Canadiens in this one. Now here's an interesting one. The Detroit Red Wings at the Nashville Predators. The road team is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. The underdog is 7-2 in the last 9. The Red Wings are 10-2 in the last 12 meetings and 6-0 in their last 6. Preds just played back-to-back against the Lightning. I'm going to take the Red Wings in this one. There's not many games I'll take the Red Wings in, but this one seems to have the stars aligning. Up next, Calgary, Vancouver. Flames are 5-1 in the last 6 meetings. The over is 5-1 in the last 6 meetings. The favorite is 39-19 in the last 58 meetings. Flames are 6-0 against losing teams. Canucks are 0-5 in the last 5. Vancouver's struggling right now. I wouldn't pick them. And last game, I'm going to talk about the Anaheim Ducks at the Vegas Golden Knights. The home team is 6-1. The favorite's 10-1. The Ducks are 2-5 in their last 7. The Knights are 8-2 in the last 10. Vegas, baby. So my official picks, who I think is going to win and lose over the next couple of days. Over the last 2 days, I went 10-3. I barely post losing records over 2 days, so this is what I'm going to give you. Starting with tonight, I'm going to take the Boston Bruins, the Montreal Canadiens, and then moving right along to Thursday night, Islanders, Lightning, Canadiens, Hawks, Red Wings, Jets, Stars, Flames, Knights, and the Sharks. That's it. That's who I think will win. Take a couple of these and make some winning parlays. That's what I always do. But right up next, we'll have the official bets for the next couple of days. Starting with tonight, these games are much closer than they appear on paper. Despite the Rangers being in last, they've been playing well and they're actually not a terrible team. While the Bruins are on fire, nobody wins every game. The Leafs and Canadiens are fighting for the top spot of the North Division, so this will be a close, tight checking game. So my official pick for tonight is going to be taking double chance on both the Bruins draw and the Canadiens draw. I think both these teams could go to overtime. Double chance, parlay, Bruins double chance, and Canadiens double chance. That's my official pick for tonight. That's minus 104 odds, so you basically double your money if you bet on that. I think it's a pretty high likelihood of happening. If you're feeling bold, take them both money line. If you're feeling really bold, take them both regulation. Now on Thursday night, I'm gonna do a simple 3-team parlay, can't miss parlay, can't lose parlay. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the Calgary Flames, and the Vegas Golden Knights. And my final bet, I'm gonna take some money on the underdog Detroit Red Wings against the Nashville Predators. So that's it, that's what I think. That's everything that happened earlier this week, everything that's going to happen later in this NHL week, all the reactions, all the latest news, all the greatest bets. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you guys like, what you guys hate. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends, and I will see you guys on Friday for some more winners. We are up on the season, so let's keep it rolling here. Thank you guys for watching, for real. You're all the best, and can't stop, won't stop. Let's go. Cheers.